These two drawings are examples of illusions known as anamorphic illusions. Now, basically what an anamorphic illusion attempts to do is trick the part of our brain that perceives 3D objects and that controls depth perception. And it does this in a very particular way, and it attempts to trick the brain into thinking that these objects are 3D. Now, normally we can tell when an object is 2D because it only has two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. We can clearly see from this angle that this drawing only has two axes. It's not jutting out from the page at all. But we can see that this 3D box has three axes, the x-axis, the y-axis and the z-axis. And the z-axis is what gives an object depth. It's what helps us perceive the object. As we can clearly see from this picture of a spoon, it looks like the spoon is jutting out of the page. And to create this illusion, what I've simply done is drawn straight lines across the page, and naturally our brain assumes that when there's straight lines, uninterrupted, that the object is flat and smooth. But when there's interruptions, it looks like there's bumps from the page. Now again, by simply adding a couple of looped lines like this, it looks like the spoon from certain angles is jutting out of the page. You might be able to get it on the camera, but from this angle it looks like the spoon is almost 3D. It looks like that there's a spoon hidden underneath the page. Now with this drawing, it looks like that there's a star jutting up from the center of the page. And again, it tricks another part of our brain's evolution into thinking that this is a 3D object. And it does this by tricking the part of our brain that thinks that normally when we see an object, the closer it is to us, the bigger it is. And that the further away it is, the smaller it is. So as we can clearly see, the biggest part of it is the center here. So naturally our brain thinks that this part is the furthest out from the page, that it is jutting out, and that these parts here are slowly getting smaller to the edges, so they must be further away from us, and overall creating the illusion that this is sticking out of the page. You can also see that these lines around the edges here, they almost look like circles, but they don't. They're not actually circles, they're simply straight lines. And these straight lines, drawn at certain angles, create the illusion that this is a circle, and that it is slowly bending in on each other, and that again there is a hidden z-axis even though there isn't.